Have you ever wondered what your great-grandparents snacked on? I bet it wasn't a bag of neon orange cheese puffs. Today, we're going on a delicious journey through time to uncover the secret evolution of our favorite snacks. From ancient treats to the futuristic foods of tomorrow, get ready to have your mind and your taste buds blown. Let's start at the very beginning. For early humans, snacking wasn't about boredom. It was about survival. A handful of berries, some nuts, or dried meat found on the go. These were the original power bars. They were all natural, locally sourced, and packed with energy. Fast forward a few thousand years to ancient Rome and Greece. They got a bit fancier. They enjoyed things like olives, cheese, and flatbreads, often washed down with wine. It was less about survival and more about social gathering and pleasure. Think of it as the first ever charcuterie board. The Middle Ages weren't exactly a golden age for snacking. For most people, food was scarce, and you ate what you could, when you could. But for the wealthy, a new trend emerged: sugar. As crusaders brought back cane sugar from the Middle East, it became a status symbol. Candied fruits and nuts were the ultimate luxury snack, a sweet treat reserved for the 1%. This was a huge turning point. Snacking started to shift from purely savory and functional to sweet and indulgent. Now let's jump to the 17th and 18th centuries. The world was opening up. Chocolate from the Americas, tea from Asia. New ingredients were flooding into Europe. Coffee houses became the new social hotspots, and people would nibble on biscuits and pastries. The idea of a dedicated snack time was starting to take shape, especially with the introduction of afternoon tea in Britain. A cup of tea with a scone or a small sandwich became a daily ritual, bridging the long gap between lunch and a late dinner. But the real snack revolution happened in the 19th century, thanks to the Industrial Revolution. Suddenly, factories could mass-produce foods that were previously made at home. This is where we meet some names you might recognize. In 1853, a chef named George Crumb accidentally invented the potato chip in Saratoga Springs, New York. A customer complained his fried potatoes were too thick, so Crumb, in a fit of pique, sliced them paper-thin, fried them to a crisp, and covered them in salt. The customer loved them, and the Saratoga chip was born. Around the same time, a guy named John Harvey Kellogg was running a health sanitarium. He was a big believer in bland whole-grain diets for good health. He and his brother Will accidentally left some boiled wheat sitting out. When they tried to roll it out, it flaked instead. They toasted those flakes, and corn flakes were born, originally intended as a health food, not the sugary breakfast staple we know today. And what about popcorn? While it had been around for centuries, it was a street vendor named Charles Cretors who, in 1885, invented the first steam-powered popcorn maker on a wagon, making it the go-to snack for fairs, circuses, and eventually, movie theaters. The 20th century is when snacking truly exploded. 2 world wars and the Great Depression meant people needed cheap, non-perishable food. Canned goods and processed foods became king. After World War II, the rise of suburbs, supermarkets, and television changed everything. Families would gather around the TV, and what goes better with TV than a convenient, easy-to-eat snack? This was the golden age of the Frito-Lay company, Nabisco, and Hershey's. Potato chips went from being a restaurant delicacy to a pantry staple. We got Oreos, Cheetos, and M&M's, snacks designed for a long shelf life and maximum craveability. The secret behind this boom? Food science. Companies hired scientists to create the perfect bliss point, that magical combination of salt, sugar, and fat that our brains are hardwired to love. They engineered chips to have the most satisfying crunch and cookies to have the perfect texture. This is why it's so hard to eat just one. They were literally designed to be irresistible. This era also gave us convenience foods like instant noodles and TV dinners, fundamentally changing our relationship with cooking and eating. But then, a shift happened. By the late 20th and early 21st century, we started to question what was in our food. The health and wellness movement began to take hold. People started reading labels and looking for snacks that were natural, organic, or low-fat. The pendulum began to swing back. We saw the rise of granola bars, yogurt cups, and rice cakes. Brands that focused on simple ingredients and health benefits started to challenge the old guard. Snacking was no longer just about indulgence. It was also about nutrition and making conscious choices. Kale chips, anyone? So, where are we headed next? The future of snacking looks wild. We're talking about personalization and technology. Imagine a snack designed specifically for your DNA, giving you the exact nutrients you need at that moment. Food scientists are already working on 3D printed snacks, where you can literally print your food in any shape or flavor you can imagine. Sustainability is also a huge driver. Snacks made from crickets and algae are already on the market, offering high-protein alternatives that are much better for the planet than traditional livestock. And we'll see more upcycled snacks, made from food byproducts that would normally go to waste, like chips made from juice pulp. It's a return to the waste not, want not mentality of our ancestors, but with a high-tech twist. From a handful of foraged nuts to a 3D printed personalized protein bar, the evolution of snacks tells the story of human history. It reflects our technology, our economy, our social lives, and our ever-changing ideas about health and pleasure. The next time you reach for a snack, take a second to think about the incredible journey it took to get into your hands. It's more than just food, it's a piece of history. What is your all-time favorite snack, and what do you think the snacks of the future will be like? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world around us. See you next time.